Hey guys, welcome to, is it week 8? Week 8. We are finally beginning this graphic novel, I Am Alfonso Jones. You have prepped for it. You have looked at the American criminal justice system. You have developed an I Am project where you kind of get in the mindset of Alfonso and look around your city and explain like why that's super important. You looked at some, articles on Newsella that had a lot to do with what we're getting ready to read. And now the time has come. Now, obviously you have the digital version of this copy. So our targets this week, we're going to go over them briefly, your assignments, and then you're working on it.
Right. You don't have a lot of assignments this week. So when we're going to get started on the learning targets, I can analyze how complex characters interact developed over the course of a text. I can also analyze how author choices manipulate time and create mystery, tension, or surprise. And I can determine or clarify the meaning of unknown and multiple meaning words. AKA, our vocabulary is complex character, manipulate, and develop.
There you go. All right, so in order to meet these targets, we have a couple assignments, and some of these are ongoing, like this one right here. It's all about vocabulary, which you've been doing with Frayer models. So our assignments are as follows. Your first assignment is really just participation and coming to a Zoom. On Monday or Tuesday, depending if your periods 1 through 4 for Monday, 5 through 7 is for Tuesday. CTC is going to be presenting about how to get into the CTC and what you need, and I think a lot like their programs and why you might want to go and all that jazz. So they'll pretty much take up all of Zoom 1, but it is required that you come, and it will be a grade.
It's required because in December there is going to be a field trip. So if you participate in this presentation and you are giving them feedback, what's interesting to you, what you're interested in over at CTC, then you can sign up for that field trip in December. If you don't sign up for this field trip in December, you will be one of very few sophomores floating around that day. And if you're coming to my class, we're still working.
True that. All right, the second item is Google Classroom discussion. There's no late credit because it is a learn about it assignment. And so you're going to choose one of these videos. This will be on Google Classroom, obviously, but there are 3 videos, and you will choose one to look at. And it's just basically about why annotate, because all this week you are going to be reading and annotating. And so we just want to remind you about why you should do that. So there's 3 videos here. I think this one is my personal favorite because she goes in depth and she really explains the process. But these 2 are also pretty good. So you just need to choose what you need as a learner. You can always do more. Once you view it, you're going to discuss your thoughts and your takeaways, and you're going to respond to at least one other peer. I think one of the things that we want to make very clear in a discussion, it doesn't mean one-word answers. It means you're thinking and you're really explaining your ideas. And when you respond to a peer, you're not just saying, I agree. You're discussing why. You're maybe asking questions, but don't just give me minimal responses, because that's boring and that's not a discussion.
Also, this is a learn about it. So that means you can't turn it in late. If you don't do it by the 20-minute deadline before your second Zoom, it's a 0. So there's no excuses. There's no, hey, you know what? I didn't get to it. Can I turn it in later? It is done or it's not done.
Our suggestion, or at least mine, would be, look, the things that you're going to do this week is you're annotating and you're reading. I would suggest doing this immediately on Monday, because then you're like, oh, now I understand annotation better, and you're going to be far more successful on the reading, which Absolutely. You don't want to wait too late to start that either. So consider that as you plan your time this week. Right. Your other one, oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
The next one is your Frayer model. This is the 3rd time you've done your Frayer model. You're going to complete this on the new set of words. Again, this is bi-weekly. So you've got 5 new words, and then there will be a quiz next week. What we're doing is we're allowing you guys to actually have until that quiz day to get this Frayer model done. It will be due on the day of the quiz. So you need to make sure that you turn in before the quiz. So hit submit, and then when we have that quiz, you won't have access to your Frayer anymore.
So what you see here in this column, and this is a practice set assignment, so it's obviously weighted a little bit heavier. But we do suggest a start date, and that's to help you organize your time, that time management skill. You can start that on the 15th and still probably get it done by when you need it. You may be able, you may be someone who's really good at vocab and could start a bit later, but the idea is that you get it done so that you can study for the quiz. And then the last and most, probably the biggest, largest chunk of your grade, it's the last major grade of the quarter, is this annotation guide. No, it's not the last major because they're going to do one more next week. Sorry about that. That's the seniors. Oops. But you're going to read pages 1 to 83 of I Am Alfonso Jones. And we know that sounds like a lot, but it's pictures. It's pictures and small and just a little bit of words. So it really shouldn't take that long, which is why we give you a larger chunk. And I think you should be fine. And it's pretty, you get sucked into it. So it's not boring. And as you are reading, you're going to fill out the annotation guide as you read. So you will be annotating, but obviously since you can't write on it on the digital version, your annotation is going to be in a graphic organizer. All assignments can be found on Google Classroom. It's pretty much all there is this week. Zoom sessions, we already said Zoom 1 is CTC. Zoom 2, we're going to go over what a signature line is and why we annotate, and then give you the rest of the time to work. And then Friday's work time. That's it. Awesome.